Arya Stark is a divisive Game of Thrones fan favorite. Young Arya starts out as a child trapped in a high-stakes game of kill or be killed. She hates her confining gender role, her seemingly perfect older sister, and the disparities of the world in which she lives. But she's quite naive, and she doesn't understand how dangerous the world really is, or how much worse it's going to get. Be warned, spoilers ahead. Arya's father, Lord Ned Stark, enrolls Arya in fencing or dancing lessons to teach her discipline and help Arya master her frustrations and energy. Arya learns to problem solve and defend herself. When her fencing/dancing instructor dies, protecting her, and then Arya's father is beheaded in front of her, her life sort of implodes. And she begins a journey of revenge, becoming a prisoner, escaping to Braavos, and becoming a part of the Faceless Men, the world's most elite assassins. Through pain and trials, Arya learns discipline and self-trust. She goes from headstrong young girl to mature, resilient, and talented woman in just a few terror-filled years. When Arya returns to Westeros, she returns as the world's most dangerous and underestimated woman, and she returns with a plan. Well, a lot of plans. First, she slaughters the sons of the man who killed her mother, brother, sister-in-law, and future niece or nephew. Then, she feeds this man his sons, before killing him as well. With one act of vengeance down, Arya has a choice to make. Return home to fight with her family, or further her plans for vengeance in the capital. Many of you know which direction Arya chose, but I won't spoil that yet. Arya's journey took her from passionate and loyal young girl to flawless killing machine, but her decision between vengeance and family is the true test of her humanity. Hello, witches, women, and other lovely listeners. I'm Hannah, the bipolar bisexual host of this bi-weekly podcast of Witches and Women. In this podcast, we get to explore the lives of powerful women, both real and mythological. Strong women have historically been labeled as witches or something else equally troubling, taboo, and easy to justify killing or dismissing. I'm telling their stories because most of these tales are amazing and all of them are fascinating. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Google Play, and if you do social media, connect with me through Of Witches and Women on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Of course, be sure you also check out the website, which is the most in-depth and exciting resource I can offer you. When you visit ofwitchesandwomen.com, you'll find fantastic merchandise of both the serious and salty variety. Lots of the merchandise is limited edition, so get it while we're still in ancient Greece. You'll also find the Grimoire Gallery, which is our internet gallery curated with art by today's working artists and featuring witches, women, and goddesses of ancient Greece. If you see something you like, you can support a small business by visiting the artists' portfolio sites to see, share, or purchase more of their work. Plus, you can even buy some of their prints starting at just $15 in the Of Witches and Women's shop. If you're not a fan of fake news, then you need to check out the Lamia Library, where I list all of my show notes and other resources and recommendations. Of course, subscribe to the newsletter The Oracle on any page of the Of Witches and Women website. Just scroll down and add your email address. The bi-weekly Oracle tells the shorter, fascinating, more obscure stories that we won't get to cover on the show. It highlights Grimoire Gallery artists, shares simple spells and book recommendations, and more. So don't miss out. Subscribe today. Nemesis is the goddess of divine retribution. In a way, she's kind of like the original Avenger, and was depicted by many of her worshippers as a flying, crime-fighting badass who slew titans, giants, and mortal villains who caused harm to the innocent. With feathered wings, she roamed the skies, watching her scales of justice and wielding her sword. She had the power to bestow both godly wrath and divine rewards. Nemesis, older cousin of Zeus and sister to Hecate in the Fates, was one of the first gods in a world full of titans. Like all the gods, she came into her predilected powers naturally, and her penchant for justice did not compute with the world of the titans. Nemesis realized that her parents did not believe in justice, but in tyranny and chaos. So when the war cry came, Nemesis rallied with Hecate, Zeus, his siblings, and others in the battle for Olympus. After the dust settled, Nemesis was pushed to the side as Gaia and Uranus's children took the spots of grandeur and postured for positions of power. Without a seat on the council, Nemesis became sort of like Zeus's executioner, in the same way that Hela was Odin's executioner in Thor Ragnarok. Nemesis executed Zeus's vision on earth, punishing the proud and cruel, and rewarding the humble and hard-working among humankind. Today, Nemesis may be a simple noun used to describe someone's antithetical enemy, but in ancient Greece, Nemesis was highly respected, feared, and loved. She was worshipped by many different groups for both her positive and negative attributes, and her visage carried over to Rome, where she was immensely popular and one of the few gods or men respected and worshipped enough to be stamped onto coins. Nemesis, bringer of balance, was also worshipped as one of the patron gods of the gladiator pits. In Athens, Nemesis was worshipped at an annual festival. During Nemnesia, the worshippers would praise Nemesis and ask her to avert the vengeance of the dead against them. Nemesis, a daughter of Nyx, the darkness, had a connection to the underworld and had the power to manipulate shadows, both physically and supernatural, which I imagine made for some killer punishments. Maybe literally. In Greece and Rome, she was also worshipped by fortune seekers and paid lavish tributes by the upper class, who attributed their wealth to the goddess out of respect and, more likely, out of the fear that she would take it away if they started to look like they didn't deserve it. In one notable instance, Nemesis watched a proud hunter break a nymph's heart due to his own self-obsession. So she enchanted the hunter, Narcissus, to fall madly in love with his own image in a pond, where he sat until he died of dehydration as he stared into his own reflection. Nemesis is the mother of one demigod of particular contention, Helen of Sparta, more famously known as Helen of Troy. The famously beautiful Helen was a natural-born daughter of Nemesis, but raised by adoptive Spartan parents. The famously beautiful Helen was kidnapped, triggering the decade-long war that ended in the evisceration of Troy. It's no coincidence that when the goddess of revenge had her daughter kidnapped, it ended in the entire civilization that kidnapped her getting wiped off the map and removed from history for centuries. Nemesis is a complex character. She evokes ideas of fear and revenge and punishment, but in reality, she was a goddess of balance and a bestower of blessings. Nemesis was a key player in the fight against the Titans and was one of the early embodiments of justice as a blind arbitrator that had power over both the rich and poor, men and women, gods and man. Today's episode is brought to you by Honestly Essential Oils. Unlike the essential oil barons, Honestly Essential Oils is a small family-run company with fewer employees than I have fingers, all of whom are skilled in different areas of holistic medicine, including the company owner who has more than 26 years of aromatherapy experience and has mixed soothing blends for many large oil companies, written books on holistic medicine, and even run a massage therapy school for many years. Because Honestly Essential Oils doesn't pay a long line of salespeople before the oils reach you, their oils are far less expensive than many other companies. Plus, Honestly Essential Oils are sourced and tested to verify a high concentration of top quality oils in every bottle. Every single Honestly Essential oil and carrier oil is either certified organic, kosher, or vegan, and all of them are completely composed only of the highest quality food-grade extracts and oils. Honestly Essential Oils are great for meditation, soothing colds, cooking, or whatever you need. You can try out Honestly Essential Oils for yourself with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, and listeners of this podcast get 10% off your first order when you use the promo code WITCHES at checkout. So, look up honestlyessential.com today and use the promo code WITCHES for a sweet deal on the best oils a witch can get. When Arya Stark walked away from the bloody and now empty House of Frey, she headed down an unbalanced path of revenge. She had a taste and talent for vengeance, as well as a list, but she lacked the much-needed balance of a higher calling. Only returning home to her family, healing her relationship with her sister, and remembering her father's honor and duty to the people could save her from becoming as vengeful as the queen she had sworn to kill. Faced with this decision, Arya chose the more vulnerable, difficult path back home to her family and her people. She chose balance. Arya put hate on the back burner, trusting in a goddess seemingly made for the girl who refused to give up on her name, herself, and her family. And, as one true queen looks out for another, Nemesis had Arya's back, to Winterfell and beyond. I have exciting news, my wonderful witchlings. Of Witches and Women is now on Spotify. What's that? You are too? Great! Be sure to open the app and hit follow ASAP. That's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure you, the squad, and your friendly kitchen poltergeist are all subscribed to Of Witches and Women on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and please reward my hard work with some magical reviews like the Goddess of Divine Rewards. You can also connect with me on social media and look up ofwitchesandwomen.com for even more great content and to subscribe to The Oracle. Stay fierce, witches, and we'll catch you next time. Of Witches and Women is brought to you by SHH Media, LLC.